Hello, friends. Welcome to Level Up with Debbie Neal. I am your host. There is nowhere I would rather be than right here, right now, with you. This podcast is all about leveling up in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Together, we are leveling up. You ready? Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about a trait that separates top performers from everyone else. So when we think about a trait, I'm not talking about talent. I'm not talking about luck. I'm not talking about connections. I love this word. We're going to talk about urgency. The greatest muscle that you can build in your business life, but I also think your regular life too, is urgency. So when we think about urgency to act, like a hunger to move, an urgency to grow, like I'm urgent, I want to grow, I want to be better, I want to evolve, an urgency to build that business, build that mindset, build that discipline, an urgency to promote. Like, where are you in your business? And do you have an urgency to take your business to the next level? And if you don't today, I'm inviting you to take that next step. Have an urgency to fix what isn't working. You know, as we evolve, as we grow, as we level up, there will be things that are not working. And it's up to us to take an urgency, apply urgency to change what's not working, an urgency to chase the calling in your life. Because here is the thing. The people who win don't wait. They don't wait. They move. They don't stall. They don't sit in this place called someday it'll happen. Someday I'll show up. Someday I'll lead my team to the next level. No. You know what they do? They move. And if there's one thing that I have learned, here it is. Your dreams do not respond to your intention. So you might have an intention. You might have like an intention to make those phone calls, do the thing, ask the person, fill the calendar, grow the business, but your dreams don't respond to your intention. They respond to your action. Like, if we're not taking action, do you have faith in yourself? Do you have faith in your business, right? Action loves urgency. So let's talk about why people move too slow. Like, we're living in a world today, a fast-paced world. Everything is fast-paced, but I'm noticing, not everybody, but like people are like moving slow. So why? And the reality is most people are living like they have unlimited time. So for example, this podcast, if you listen to it when it drops, it's now April. I think we're like 1 week into April. They might be thinking, I have all year. I have till December 31st to meet my goal. I have plenty of time. So they're living and they're building and they're working and they're thinking like they have unlimited time. So they may say things like, I'm going to start next month. I'm going to start after the holidays. It's Easter. It's Passover. I'm going to start when life calms down. I'm going to start when I feel more confident. But here's the thing. Life is always going to life. You want life to happen, okay? Because what's the alternative? But life also never calms down. Confidence doesn't show up first. And someday is the most dangerous word in the dictionary. Because friends, we're all living on borrowed time. Like, someday is what? If we live a really full, fruitful, abundant life, it's still short. Because here's what happens. Someday, you know what that turns into? Next year, 5 years from now, a decade. And then people say things like, I'm not ready. I'm not worthy. It's like, you've been sitting stagnant too long. And then people wake up wondering, where did the time go? Slow action, you know what it does? It creates stalled dreams. What dream is sitting inside of you? Delayed decisions create delayed lives. You have one life. You have no dress rehearsal. And meanwhile, high performers treat time like it's oxygen. They respect it. They protect it. They use it. They understand something that most people don't. Speed creates opportunity. A lot of people say, if speed makes me feel like I'm out of alignment, or I need to be calm, or I need to be zen. No. People want to join something moving. They want to join something in action. They want to join something fun and lively. And so the faster you learn, the faster you will earn. Now, whatever you do for a living, there's no guarantees of that, but let's apply a little common sense. If you're going to learn faster, you're going to be able to apply it faster, and then you're going to have a different timeline in your earnings. The faster you decide, the faster you're going to grow. So the faster you decide to move, schedule, talk, practice, build your skills. Again, no promises, no guarantees, but I'm thinking it's a pretty good assumption that you're going to grow a little bit faster. The faster you create activity, the faster you're going to grow. You have to get in front of people to grow your business. You have to get in front and tell the story of whether it's your products, your business, your service, your whatever. But if you look at your calendar, if you want to know where you are in your life, and if you want to know where you are in your business, look at your calendar. And what's amazing to me is how much people are willing to fill up their calendar to make their other people's dreams come true or make somebody else a lot of money. Are you willing to invest that kind of time for yourself? The faster you move, the faster momentum finds you. Momentum happens with consistent activity compounded over time. You're not going to wake up one day and just self-combust and be in momentum, right? So it's about moving faster. And urgency is a learned discipline. It's a learned thing. You can learn it. We all have different levels. And that's why we say don't compare your journey to somebody else's, because you could look at like, oh my gosh, we've both been in the same company for the same amount of months, and we both have two different results. Well, we're just talking about one thing here, but two people can have two completely different levels of urgency and discipline. Their results immediately are going to be different. So some people think urgency is like a personality trait, like I'm urgent. It's not. Urgency is a discipline. It's a decision. It's a way of operating. It means you treat your goals like they matter. And here's the thing, friends, most people don't. So if you want to separate yourself, if you want to get off this road that we refer to as average, because average is really crowded, operate different. You treat your goals like they matter, not like, oh, I'm so into them one day and then somebody hurts my feelings the next day and my goals are on the back burner. It means you respect deadlines that you set for yourself. Like you set a deadline. And let me tell you something. I've had many deadlines in my 20 years of an entrepreneur. The plan has probably changed. I don't even know how many times, but the deadline remains the same. It means you don't let distractions steal your destiny. There will be distractions in life. Urgency says, if it matters, I move now. So I always say this. I say this to myself and to other people as well. But if we're not taking the actions we want, if we're not showing up to get the results we want, instead of making excuses, why don't you just try looking in the mirror and saying, it's just not a priority. My business is just not a priority. Showing up on camera is just not a priority. Making more money is just not a priority. Leading my team to the next level is not a priority. Because if it was, you'd move, right? And so urgency says, if it matters, I move now. Not recklessly, not emotionally, not decisively. Leaders with urgency don't overthink every move. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't get stuck in analysis paralysis, like, oh, let me think and let me wait for the perfect time. They gather information, they trust themselves, and they execute because they know that action creates clarity. And motion beats meditation when progress is the goal, right? If you're just looking to meditate, if you want to lay there, if you want to be in Zen, you want to be, okay. But if you're looking to grow, you're looking to level up, you're looking to promote, you're learning to earn more, motion is the way, okay? It's the way that you're going to progress towards your goal. And there is a cost to living without urgency. Living without urgency kind of sometimes feels harmless. I'm in this state. I just want to be happy. I don't want to feel stress. Every day is a gift. Like people today are kind of making like this urgent, work hard, action is a bad thing. I'm sorry, but we're the hustle culture, the work culture, anything worthwhile requires hard work and it's adding urgency. But living without urgency can feel harmless, but it is incredibly expensive. So every delayed decision, you know what it costs you? Opportunities that you will never see, income that you will never earn, impact that you will never make, influence that you are not growing, leaders that you don't build, growth that you will not experience, confidence that you will not grow. Procrastination is not neutral. It's not neutral. It's quietly stealing your potential. I believe procrastination is the devil whispering in your ear, you don't need this. You don't have to do this. Go slower. Don't feel out of alignment. Does this feel natural? He wants to keep you small, especially if you're in a business like I'm in, where you have the potential to impact people, to change their lives, to build them up, to have a positive ripple effect in the world. The devil wants to keep you small. When you move slowly on your goals, life doesn't pause politely. Other people, you know what happens? Other people step into the opportunity that should be yours. Other voices will take the stage. Other businesses serve the people that you were meant to help. I love when people say to me, oh my gosh, this person, like I once talked to them in my business. Now, in my company, we teach people to refer people back. Like, oh my gosh, you were introduced to the business. Definitely go back to that person. But I'm sorry. If I talked to somebody about my business 3 years ago and I'm doing nothing, I'm not growing, I'm not succeeding, I'm not showing up, like, why would that person come back to me? I'm not a ball and chain. The idea is that when you go and you share your business or your products with somebody and they're a no or they're a not now or they're I'm not sure, you're going to build yourself and build your confidence and build your leadership. So when the timing is right, they don't owe you anything, but they want to join you. So when you procrastinate, other business serves the people that you were meant to help. And you know what the hardest part is? Regret weighs more than effort will ever weigh. Like we're afraid of the effort sometimes. Be afraid of the regret. The pain of discipline, like it just weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. And urgency protects you from a future filled with what if. What if I would have picked up the phone? What if I would have talked to that person? What if I would have lived in my word? What if I would have gone for that trip? What if I would have kept my feet planted when the world was distracted? This episode is brought to you by Cozy Earth. You all know how much I love my Cozy Earth blankets and pajamas. With Mother's Day coming up, this is your opportunity to thank someone special in your life by providing them with the comfort of Cozy Earth. Whether it's a robe, blanket, slippers, pajamas, or bed sheets, slip into a piece of everyday luxury to support you on busy days and provide some much needed quiet moments. Treat your mother or treat yourself, and you can try it out with Cozy Earth's 100-night sleep trial. Head to cozyearth.com and use my code Debbie, all caps, for an exclusive 20% off. And if you see a post-purchase survey, be sure to mention that you heard about Cozy Earth right here on Level Up with Debbie Neal. And so let me tell you what urgency really looks like. Urgency is not panic. It's not stress. It's not rushing without thinking. Urgency is intentional speed. Like maybe it looks like making decisions quickly once you have enough information, responding to opportunities instead of hesitating, starting projects immediately instead of endlessly planning, returning calls and messages promptly. I love when people say to me, like, I have like 300 unread texts, like it's a status symbol. Like, who are you? The Pope? Why would you have 300 unread messages? Be prompt, be urgent, be the type of person that people want to do business with. Handling problems while they're small Executing ideas before doubt talks you out of them. And I want to talk about the beginning of my business because it really had a lot of intentional speed. So I was introduced to my business. I read about my company, not tremendously, because let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but like when people are like, oh, let me look up a little bit more about this, whatever it is. I hate to break it to you, but it's like the people that didn't work the business, the people that like negativity is noisy. So like I didn't look for people that didn't succeed. I didn't look for people that were complaining about the industry of the business. I wanted to like just learn about the facts. How long was the company in business? What type of products did they have? What was the business model? And when I read it all, I was like, I never thought I'd be selling. I never had a vision of selling, but I was like, I've been praying for something for 5 years. And I left a backyard barbecue with like a dream in my heart. Then on the way home, I'm like, you have you have 4 babies under the age of 6. You're watching 7 kids under the age of 5. You never sold a thing in your life. Who will do this? There were so many things that was actually like fear that wanted me to procrastinate. And I was like, no, I'm doing this. I called up the person who introduced me to the business. I'm like, sign me up right now. Okay. And then she was like, you're going to launch your business in 7 days. You know what I said? I was like, oh no, I need like 2 weeks. She was like, 7 days. I'm like, oh, the summer's coming, June's coming. My kids are in school. She's like, no, 7 days. And I listened. Friends, be coachable. And so I was urgent. And then I had a business launch within a week. And then I was like, you know what? I want to be better than most. And I'm not saying better as a person. I'm like, I don't want to be average. I saw the earnings statement for my company. I don't want to be typical. I don't want to be average. And so what I was taught was like, get in front of at least 40 people a month and tell them about the business and tell them about the product. So I was like, okay, if that's what they're telling me to do in 30 days, what if I got in front of 100 people in a week? And you guys, like, that's what I did. I was urgent. I was selling the dream. I was educating myself. I was practicing the opportunity. I was learning about the products. If I had a spare moment, people like, oh my gosh, you were out of balance. Of course I was out of balance. It felt good. It felt exhilarating. Like, I don't know why people fear this. I was like, I found a business that has the potential. Remember, doesn't matter how good a business is or how good a company is. Your effort, your level of urgency, what you're willing to put in, that's your potential. Like the company at the time for me was already around 27 years. Now my company's around 45. It already has proven its potential, but that's not my potential. My potential is what I put into it. So I had 100 conversations. The morning of my business launch, which was 1 week in of starting my business, I remember like my upline called me up. It's like, how many people do we have confirmed? I was like, oh, nobody. She's like, we want people there. And immediately I was thinking, well, I've invited this many. Well, I don't get paid on results. I mean, I don't get paid on effort. I get paid on results. I started picking up the phone. I started letting people know what it meant to me. I knocked on some neighbors' doors. I was urgent. And what happened is there ended up being 20 people at my event. But if I wasn't urgent, there wouldn't be 20 people at my event. Not only was there 20 people at my event, but I had already had 4 people join my business because I had 100 conversations in 7 days. So if you look at the ratio, talk to 100 people, 4 people said, you know what? I want to do this with you. 96 people said, I'm a no, or I'm a not now, or whatever. Okay. And so also urgent, I was asked, what's a really good goal for month 1? Like, I don't want an average. I want a really good goal. And they gave me that goal, how much it was in sales. I achieved that in 8 days instead of 30. You know what, friends? You know what average would do? They would take their foot off the gas. My gosh, I hit my goal. I'm going to chill a little bit. No, I was like urgent. Leaders are urgent. Deadlines drive performance. I want to treat my business like this rolling ball of momentum and fire. So I kept going. And then it was month after month after month. And that urgency created a tidal wave. It wasn't luck. It wasn't because I had experience. I was never involved in this profession, never sold a thing in my life, but I studied it. I learned it. I practiced it. I took ownership and I was urgent. And I'm going to tell you something. People doubted me. They doubted me. I got rejection. I had people laugh at me. I had people saying, oh my gosh, Debbie's husband must not be doing so well. Look what she's doing on the side, that little business. That little business. That little business has turned into something amazing because I didn't treat it like a hobby. Friends, hobbies cost money. Businesses have the potential to make money, but I was urgent. I knew that my best life was waiting for me. I was urgent to do what I said I would do. Did you? I don't know if you're in a business where you look people in the face and you tell them what the potential is. Friends, I had to show them. I don't owe anybody anything, but my word is pretty solid. And if I look at somebody and say, I'm going to lead you to the top of this company, then I need to grow to the top of that mountain first. So I was urgent to do what I said I would do. I was urgent to show my team what was possible. The longer I took, the slower I moved, the greater their doubt was going to be. Urgency is respect. It's respect for your time, respect for other people's time, respect for your potential. Highly urgent people operate with an internal standard like this needs to get done. So I'm going to do it now. They don't push important things to later. They create momentum through immediate action. And momentum is powerful. You know, I have this saying, if somebody has to ask me twice, it's one too many times. Once you're moving, stay in motion because that's easier than stopping. And people look at my journey and sometimes they look at the time in which I grew and they're like, oh my gosh, that must have been so hard. I don't know. Of course, it was a lot of activity, a lot of meetings, a lot of conversation, a lot of growth, a lot of fun and crazy, a lot of hard. But to me, stopping and starting, stopping and starting, stopping and starting is way harder. So how do we build the urgency muscle? And honestly, we build it like any muscle. Urgency strengthens with repetition. You build it by practicing speed with discipline. So number one, make faster decisions. Stop overanalyzing small choices. Train yourself to trust your judgment. Number two, use time blocks. Give tasks a start and a finish window. Like I even knew when I first started doing this podcast, I have to be honest with you. A lot of times I cluster record and I'll do like 2 a week just so we always have something in the queue to release. When I first started doing this, it took up a lot of my time. I was like, okay, so if I record on Thursdays, I'll give myself, Monday to record an episode. To prepare an episode, and then maybe I'll prepare another one on Wednesday. But that was too big of a time slot. It doesn't need a full day. But because I said it so generally, it took me all day because I would stop and I would start and then I would get involved with something else and then I would come back. But what would happen is it would actually consume my thoughts for all of Monday. Now, this is an amazing project for me. A lot has come from my podcast, but I also own and operate my main business. And I was like, this can't take up my Monday. So then I would be like, okay, I have from this time to this time. That's it to record, to prepare. That's it. And then I even got myself to the fact that, okay, I'm like, I record on Thursdays. I have from Thursday morning to prepare my podcast. That's it. And then I felt Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like I was free. And they were taking the same amount of effort. We're getting the same results, but like I wasn't thinking about it all day because I decreased my time blocks. I gave myself shorter windows and they were focused time. So give tasks a start time and a finish window. Work with focus instead of drifting through the day. I was drifting through the day. And then what would happen is like all of Monday, I'm thinking, it's already noon. I didn't think about what I'm going to talk about on Thursday. And I love doing this podcast, but there was a period of time where I was like, this is supposed to be bringing me joy. And I feel like I'm writing a keynote speech every single day. And again, I love writing keynote speeches, but do you know can you understand what I'm saying here? But then once I established time blocks and I respected them, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm back to actually being completely in love with doing my podcast because I'm not thinking about it all week. I know exactly when I'm preparing it on Thursday mornings. Okay. Number 3, act on ideas within 24 hours. If inspiration hits, take immediate action before fears show up. I did that with my business. I was introduced to my business at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I left a backyard barbecue. I was excited. I was so excited. But then When I left the barbecue on the way home, fear set in. When I went to bed, fear set in. When I woke up, fear set in. And I was like, I need to make an immediate decision right now. This is a great opportunity. This is a great company. I believe in myself. I'm banking on myself. I'm doing this. I called the person that shared my business with me and I was like, sign me up because if I wait one more minute, I am going to change my mind. I was urgent before I started a business. I acted on my gut. There's always going to be a million reasons why to say no or not now, but go with that initial gut. I was praying for more in my life, praying for more. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Why are we praying for more sometimes? And then when something comes along, a vehicle to change our lives, we're like, we feel uncomfortable. Of course you feel uncomfortable. It's something new. You've got to leave your comfort zone behind to lead your dream life. Number 4, create self-imposed deadlines. Don't wait for external pressure. High performers create their own urgency. So I did that when I started my business. I was like, okay, this is the timeline that I want to grow to the top of my company. I knew it wasn't average. I knew it wasn't normal. I didn't want to be average. I didn't want to be normal. Okay. But I had also never built a business like this. So I was like, okay, Deb, you're going to set 24 to 48 hour goals and we're going to work like it's the last 24 and 48 hours in the entire month. And I taught myself how to be urgent. I self-imposed deadlines because. Okay. So number 5, do it now. If something takes less than 5 minutes, handle it immediately. Small acts build a powerful identity. Like when you have small acts of speed, they build a powerful identity. So I'm someone who moves. I'm someone who executes. I'm someone who gets things done. And identity drives performance. So your time is right now. We are beginning the second quarter of the year. This is what I want you to understand as we conclude our time together today. You don't need more talent. Now I say that, but like you always want to grow yourself and grow your knowledge. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need ideal conditions. In fact, you will never have ideal conditions. The people who wait for ideal conditions, they're constantly going to put their dreams in a little box on a shelf, take them out every once in a while, and go back to living a life they're settling in. You need urgency. Urgency to stop delaying your potential. Urgency to stop negotiating with your goals. Urgency to become the person your future is waiting for. Because time is moving whether you like it or not. The question is not whether your life will pass. Your life is passing. In fact, if we all had like one of those big things, the hourglass with the sand in it, and one was just filled with however long you're going to be on the earth, just watching it go down, your life is going to pass. The question is whether you will move while your life is passing. So decide quickly. Decide today that I move quickly, I act decisively, I execute consistently, I treat my goals like they matter, because the greatest muscle you can build is urgency. And when urgency becomes your default setting, success stops feeling like it's so far away. And you know what happens? Success starts chasing you. It starts chasing you. So I love you, friends. Be amazing and be urgent.